Hello Chaos Gang and welcome back to my bullshit. My name is Sybil and today I'm here alone. If you want any of Ali or I's socials, they'll be down in the description below. So today we're going to be doing some Am I the Asshole videos. I don't know, they're just super chill, super nice, super fun, a good time. I do want to apologize if I look really worn out. I had sleep paralysis for like 2 days in a row. I don't know why, so I'm hoping tonight's better. I feel like you can see it in my eyes. You can just see the downpour of exhaustion. But before we get into the video, I want to tell you guys quickly about today's sponsor, Jovs. Now, if you've seen my videos before, you've probably already heard Ali and I talk about Jovs Venus Pro 2 hair remover. It's a product that we actually really love and Ali has been using. Now, if you've been feeling hairy, and I'm not talking about styles, this might be the perfect product for you. And this isn't a channel that's like, oh, hair bad. This is a channel that recognizes some places you want hair, some places you don't. For instance, I'm someone who prefers to have hair on like my armpits sometimes and sometimes on my leg, but I'm somebody who does not like hair around my bikini line and stuff like that. If you don't prefer hair in some places but you prefer it others, or you prefer it nowhere, there's 6 different modes to allow you to really tackle the hair in those specific areas. So with these 6 modes, I can easier choose where I want to remove. I feel like I just wrapped that. Did you see that? Did you see that unfold? Now these modes include the face, the arms, the underarms, the legs, the bikini line, and a 6th mode for the SR rejuvenation. So for the SR rejuvenation mode, there's actually a little attachment you can put on so that way you can rejuvenate the skin in those areas. But the reason there's 5 different modes for different parts of the body is because Jovs recognizes that hair is different in every spot. Some areas have coarse and thick hair. Don't know why I said it like that. While some areas have less thick hair and less coarse hair. Now, not only do they recognize that these areas are different and need different modes, but they also recognize bodies are different and need different modes. So this guy comes with 6 different energy levels. That way you can use the energy level that's right for your hair in your body and not overdo it or underdo it. When I got my Jovs, there's a booklet, and if you look in the booklet, it helps you learn which energy levels to use for your skin. There's even an automatic flash button underneath the bikini line mode. This way you could just hold that button down and it'll start to automatically flash and take care of the area a lot easier for you. This device uses a full screen of sapphire that works easier on the treatment area, and it even feels cold when like the power's off, so this product's not like hot, it's actually cool to the touch. After you turn it on for 27 seconds, the screen will start to frost, and that's when you know you're ready to go. Oh, wrapping again. Give me a producer. And because the head is made from a full screen of ultra thin sapphire that's cool to the touch, it differs from all these other ILP products on the market. When I'm talking cool to the touch, I mean it's constantly 3 degrees Celsius, so that way the treatment's entirely painless. Along with that, the head rotates 330 degrees to make sure that you can get into hard to reach areas, if you know what I'm saying. Your armpit, obviously. What I meant. This product is safe and fast. It's FDA cleared and clinically proven to work. I mean, you can see the videos on screen during this. It's clearly doing its job. And on top of that, it received the German Red Dot Award. And with that being said, Jovs even gave me a code for y'all, which will come on screen right now, as long as the link to the product in the description. Definitely check it out if this is something you're interested in. I don't know why that was so hard for me to get out. It's been something in our household for a while, so can actually recommend it from like long-term use. And thank you so much, Jovs, for sponsoring this video. Let's actually go ahead and jump on in the video. Starting with a hefty discussion which includes parenting. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend that I don't want to take care of it? Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend that I don't want to take care of his son anymore? My boyfriend, 30, has a son, 6. When we started our relationship, he was 2, his mother didn't want me to be involved in the care of their child, and she and I never really had seen eye to eye. In the beginning, it went really well and his son was here every other week, but the older he got, the less time he was with his mom, and he's with us 100% now since his mom was arrested a year ago. In the beginning, we divided the chores and childcare equally. 4 months ago, my boyfriend got an opportunity to work on 3 projects which could lead him to a big promotion. So she's been in this kid's life for, I want to say, 4 to 5 years, depending on, you know, how long this kid has been 6.
How long have you been? 6 years old.
A while.
Like literally since he was 2. He's always working late, either from home or in the office. I've been doing all the chores and childcare since then. I cook, clean, get his son ready in the morning, and drop him off at daycare. The only thing my boyfriend has to do is get his son ready for bed. I told him last Friday that from Monday on I won't be doing the childcare anymore. He got angry and said that we're a family and we need to support each other. He told me he needed me right now and that I just need to be patient. I replied saying that this is his son and he needed to do the majority of the childcare. I mean, I guess every situation's different, so it's hard for me to say this sentence. I've been having too much sleep paralysis for that door to make that noise and me not to jump out freaked out for a second. Oh my god, that was a heart attack and a half. It's because they think they're vacuuming or jumping around or doing gymnastics upstairs right now. I usually can't hear my neighbors at all. I don't know why it's so aggressive today. Oh my god, look at those bags. So obviously parenting and childcare is a sensitive topic, as it should be. It's the literal well-being of a child, and I don't even have a kid, so I can only give my humble opinion on this. But to me, if you've been with somebody for 4 to 5 years and you've been a parent to this child since they were 2 and you all live together and consider yourself a family, and the only reason you're now taking on extra childcare is for a giant promotion that could literally help this family, I don't know if I really agree with you being like, I shouldn't have to do any of the childcare anymore. Now here, that's another thing, is here she said he should have to do the majority, but over here she says from Monday on I won't be doing the childcare anymore. So it's hard for me to also tell what she means by that when she has differing statements. But so far in this story, I kind of feel bad for the kid that this person who he probably sees as a mother figure if he's been there like since he was 2, and she's like, I know you're trying to get a giant promotion for the family, but I actually don't care. So that's a little messed up. I feel like if I was that kid and I found that out later in life, that would really hurt. We'll continue. I've been doing all of it, and it's not fair since he is his father. That is true. He then went into the other room, got his son, and told his son that mommy says she doesn't want to take care of you anymore, while pointing at me. I said to not call me that because I'm not his mother, and his son started crying. I of course comforted and apologized to his son because it wasn't my intention to upset him. My boyfriend is still mad and has been taking care of his son but won't speak to me. Okay, the dad just escalated this situation so far to a point where I'm like, leave him. Leave him. For a second, I was like, he's working on a giant promotion. I understand, like, he definitely needs to take a lot more responsibility and you can't be left with all of it, but this is something that's gonna help everyone out. That, though, like, manipulation, saying it to the kid in earshot so she hears it, being like, mommy doesn't want to take care of you. The kid is 6. The kid's gonna remember that. Like, that's a core memory and not a fucking good one. This is like trauma and therapy session core memory of your like mother figure of 4 to 5 years being like, I'm not your mommy. And your dad being like, she doesn't want to take care of you. Yeah, oh my gosh, I was talking about that part, but the part about her being like, I'm not his mommy in front of him. This kid probably pictures you as his mother figure, considering you've been in his life since he was 2, his mother's in jail and he doesn't even speak to her. And like, this is what I mean when I was talking about blending families and everything. It doesn't mean like you have to call your stepmother mommy or anything like that, but you do have a responsibility when you decide to live with a partner, with a child. You are taking on a responsibility of knowing that that kid is in the house. So everybody's wrong. Everybody's the asshole except the actual child. I'm not even done with the story. Sorry, wow. I didn't think this was unreasonable. He is the parent and needs to do more of the childcare. And also the mom doesn't even want me to be involved in childcare, so I'm already overstepping her wishes. My sister is on his side and it says I'm at fault since he and I are a family now and he needs my support right now. And that the mother wishes don't matter at all right now. Like, I don't think that was at all unreasonable, but I'm not sure if I was unreasonable here. Am I the asshole? I see a lot of you asking if I work. I do. I'm giving at-home care for the elderly and disabled. I've lowered the number of hours that I work to 20 to 28 hours per week. How demanding my work is truly depends on the day and which client I have on my schedule. Sometimes I have clients on my schedule that don't require a lot of time and I'm finished by 12 p.m. and other times I have to work until 8 p.m. It really varies per day. Overall, I think the husband's the asshole. Yes, you shouldn't have to do all the childcare. Yes, it is like technically his son and therefore he needs to take the brunt of the work. Yes, he's also the asshole because what he said to his son to hurt you and and his son. However, I still stand by the point that if you choose to be with somebody who has kids, especially when you're moving in together, especially when it's long-term, 4 to 5 years, to just act as if there's no responsibility to that kid because it's just not yours, I don't really agree with that. You can't just pretend there's no responsibility. You decided to be a part of that kid's life. Now, as far as the mother's wishes, she is in jail right now. You are 100% the full-time caretakers of the kid. Typically, I would be like, yes, But when you're 100% full-time caretakers and it's been this way for a long time and now she's in jail, it feels more of an excuse for you to say that than it does like an actual care for the mother's boundaries, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like that's more of an excuse when you say it now. So I'm actually gonna hit this one with the rare everyone's the asshole except the child. I just realized every single one I saved for this video has to do with children in some aspect, so let's do another. Am I the asshole for saying again after my sister announced that she's pregnant with twins? My 21 female sister, 32 female, has been married to her husband, 33 male, for 8 years. They already have 6 kids total. The last one was born 5 months ago. Damn. Yesterday, my sister had announced that she's 3 months pregnant with twins, and while everyone was congratulating her, I said out loud, "Oh my God, again. Can't your stupid husband leave you alone?" I didn't mean to say it out loud, but it slipped out and my sister looked at me angrily and literally dragged me into another room and asked, "Why the fuck did you say that?" I told her that she and her husband have been pregnant every year for the last 8 years and that she needs to take a break. I was worried about her having so many babies in such a short time and I didn't want anything bad happening to her. She then said, "How about you leave us alone and worry about your own shit? This is my life, so fuck off." My mother told me that I should apologize for being rude, but I told her that I won't apologize for showing concern. But now I just can't help thinking that maybe I was being an asshole and sticking my nose into other people's business. I was just worried, but maybe I was being a jerk. Am I the asshole? So there is an edit, but I want to talk about this first before I read the edit, because sometimes I want to ask my questions first. Yes, 6 kids total, last one born 5 months ago. I agree, personally not for me, but it's not your body and it's not your choice, and that goes a lot of ways, including women that want to have big families and have lots of kids. And if she feels like her body can handle it and her family is financially stable and like she's able to take care of these kids, it's really not your business. Now that always brings into the question, like, are they able to take care of those kids? Is everything okay at home? I don't know, but just based off of what we're given from the story, it's her choice to have a large family. I understand concern for her health, but that's not what you worded it as. You said, "Oh my God, again, can't your stupid husband leave you alone?" As if she's not excitedly telling people. As if she's not acting like she wanted this. Like she wanted this clearly from what she said to you. On top of that, you won't apologize for showing concern, but this accidentally slipped out of your mouth, which means you knew it was wrong to say, especially in the format that you did. So I don't see how you can be like, "I won't apologize for being concerned," even though you knew you shouldn't have said that and didn't mean to, as far as we know. Clearly know you're in the wrong for saying it. Lastly, this talk doesn't do anything when she's already pregnant. If this was a concern you had or something you really wanted to talk to your sister about, you would have done it before. You know, once she hit baby 6 and you were like, "Wow, that's a lot. Maybe I should really see and check in on her body and see how she's doing," you would have had a conversation with her. You wouldn't have waited. You're just like the asshole the whole way, but let's check out the edit. "Yes, I do babysit my sister's kids sometimes, and all 6 of them at the same time whenever they need me to and if I'm available. They pay me $30 to $50 an hour, but their kids are pretty destructive and they don't respect other adults like they're supposed to, so it's a full chore watching after them. I'm aware that the stupid husband comment was inappropriate, but I have almost no filter and my stupid mouth says shit before my brain can stop it. So apologize. If you really can't control what you say, if you really can't filter it out, then why aren't you apologizing?" And I've seen some comments talk about the ages and assuming my sister is 21, I'm 21, my sister is 32, and her husband is 33. So you have a sister that's 11 years older than you, has a husband, has a family, pays you for babysitting. I'm assuming she could pay somebody else for $30 to $50 an hour. Yes, childcare is expensive, but there's lots of people who would take that amount to watch all those kids. Like $50 an hour, 6 kids is a fuck ton, yes, but that is a pretty decent wage, hourly wage. So it's clear that it's probably not a financial issue. She wants the kids, so it's not her husband not leaving her alone that's an issue. I can understand some worry about her body, but she's already pregnant, so why would you make the comment after she's already pregnant? Yeah, you're the asshole, you're the asshole, you're the asshole. Sometimes I like to read the community's opinions after to see like if people were disagreeing with me or agreeing with me without like the prior thoughts of others. But yeah, it looks like most people are sticking with "you're the asshole." I do agree that's too many kids, but that's also it's not my responsibility, it's not my business, and if they're taking care of these kids and they love these kids, then that's up to them. Also, I want to point out one more thing based off the edit. She said for the last 8 years, meaning that the oldest kid possible can be 8, and she's calling them destructive and not respectful of other adults when the oldest one is 8. Those are the regular ages to be destructive and still learning how to like talk to adults and understanding just like boundaries in general. So to sit here and say that, that's just being a kid. That's just like being a really, really young kid. So I don't know about all this. This one's throwing me through a loop. Not really through a loop, just like the mental gymnastics I feel like she's doing to act like she's not the asshole when she clearly knows she is.
There was another update after I recorded. Pause to read.
Alright, we'll do one more. Am I the asshole for asking why you would lock the door to multiple baby changing stations? My daughter had an accident when we were out. I went to the nearest changing room and it was locked. I knew there were 2 changing stations in there, but when the door opened a few minutes later, 2 women came out with a small baby. I politely asked them why they locked the door and explained there were multiple changing stations in there. The first woman apologized and said she was new to this whole mummy thing and doesn't know how everything works yet. The second woman started arguing, asking why there would be a lock on the door if it's not meant to be used. They walked away and I started to change my daughter. A few minutes later, the second woman came back very angry while she was also breastfeeding the baby, saying that I had made her wife cry and that she had postnatal anxiety and it was one of their first days out and I needed to consider the impact of what I said to new mums. I explained I wasn't responsible for her reaction and continued changing my daughter. The woman kept arguing, saying that they could lock the door if they wanted to and that they wouldn't feel comfortable sharing the space. She said she hoped I felt guilty. I said I didn't, and I told her I was surprised by how bothered she seemed to be about changing my daughter. She was very angry and left after about 5 minutes of having a go at me. I'm gonna call it right now. Something about this story is fishy. And I'll tell you what it is. The way she says, I politely asked them why they locked the door and explained there were multiple changing stations in there. I don't believe that's how she asked. I know that's like what she's saying, but it's very difficult for me to believe this. When you look at situations like this typically, you probably came off abrasive. You probably came off as argumentative. Especially imagine like 2 new moms, now I'm speaking like the Brits, hi. 2 new moms coming out with a baby and then immediately stopping them and being like, why did you lock the door when there was 2 changing stations in there? Like there's no way in my head that you could have said that politely. That just feels like an unnecessary comment, especially because they were coming out and you could have just went in and you could have just gone about your day. I don't believe you actually said it as friendly as you're trying to say you did. I just don't see how it's possible to do that. Another thing is, you're talking about a family bathroom. Those are made for the door to lock so families can have privacy. Think of like a school restroom where there's a corridor, there's no lock, right? There's locks on stalls. Think about like a bathroom at a Target or like a grocery store or something. There's typically a door that's unlocked during hours and then inside there's stalls and then inside there's typically a baby changing station in the public restroom. Now think about when you go to the mall or something and you have the regular corridor ones or door ones, but then you also have the smaller ones that have a locked door, and when you open it there's usually a toilet and 2 baby changing stations. Those are meant to be private restrooms. Those are quite literally made for single family use at a time. Like what you're supposed to do is go in, take your kid. The reason there's 2 changing stations is in case you have multiple kids and you can go in as a family and lock the door for privacy. And I honestly agree with the other family being like, I didn't feel comfortable and there was a lock, so I locked the door. I feel like if there's a lock, that means you're allowed to lock it. I feel like I'm not wild for thinking that. Also, the way she explains the other family also feels unrealistic. Like the way she's like, I very politely stopped them as they were leaving the changing room and was like, hey, did you know there's 2 in there? Why would you lock it? Like, first of all, there's no polite way to say that. And then the first woman coming back and then like making the woman apologize, and then the second woman is like starting to argue with me because you started confrontation. This is so wild to me. People will do this all the time. They'll start the most meaningless confrontation and then be like, why are you arguing with me? It's like, don't start confrontation if you don't want to expect somebody to possibly disagree with you. Wow. But this just seems really fishy to me, and I do have a feeling the community is like gonna agree with her because of the way she worded it, but something's off to me. Oh, one last thing I want to talk about is how like the wife came back and like had to go at her. I don't think that's the way to handle it. I don't think she should have. But also, like, if you made my wife, who just had given birth, really, really upset, I would probably also, it probably isn't the smartest thing, but I would probably also go back and be like, hey, just so you fucking know, first baby, learning the ropes, already dealing with anxiety, like, can you please think about other people for 2 seconds? Like, I probably would have fucking done that shit too. Is it the best idea? Probably not, but I certainly would have. And it sounds like she's just having passive aggressive responses, which usually egg people on more anyways. I don't know, this is a really fishy story. Let's see what everybody else says. You're the asshole. A room with changing stations and a lock on the door is clearly designed for a single family to use at a time. So they are entitled to lock it and change their child in private, and you can wait your turn. You are being rude and entitled. I completely agree. I completely agree. That's like the thing that blows my mind the most, is it clearly wasn't an extended terrible amount of time, considering they like came out and you still had time to argue with your daughter in her like poopy pants or whatever happened. Like, you have your daughter sitting here up to her britches and shit, and she's like sitting there, and you have the time to sit here and argue with some people leaving a private lock room, like locked stall. That's what I mean. I feel like that's one of the things that made it feel fishy that I just hadn't grasped yet, you know? But how can you sit here and be like, oh, I needed to use it so direly. My daughter had just went to the bathroom in her pants and this family took it up, so I actually stopped them and then told them why I was upset with them instead of just using it like the next person. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jovs, for sponsoring this video. Like I said, guys, code is on the screen, link is in the description. This is like a household product of ours and we really do recommend it. So thank you so much. Sorry I was low energy today. I just keep having nightmares and sleep paralysis, and I hope I can sleep tonight. I'm gonna end it with my hand. I'm not standing up any more than I need to at this point of the day. All right, bye guys. See ya.